Gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Kustoff, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I appreciate you calling this important hearing today and appreciate Mr. Zuckerberg for appearing. I think we've all heard loud and clear what you've said about the need for innovation in this area, especially highlighting the challenge that we have in regard to China and where we are in this space as we compete with China or as China competes with us. If I could roll back the clock, though, and when you came up with this idea and went to your board of directors, how did you tell them that Facebook could monetize or profit from the creation and the use of Libra and Calibra? How did you explain that to your board of directors?
Well, Congressman, you may not believe this, but that's actually not the first thing that we talk about at the company. We focus on building services that are going to create value in people's lives, and we believe that if we do that, that we're able to get some of the value downstream.
It eventually came up, though.
Yes, and
how did you explain that?
So we identified what we thought was a big need for financial inclusion and the ability to easily and quickly and affordably send money. The way that this will help Facebook over time, or our business, is that basically in our ads system, it's an auction, which means that if you're a small business and we don't have a rate that you have to pay, you bid and tell us what the ads are worth to you if you can get a new customer into your store, or if you can complete a transaction. And what we basically see is that when we eliminate friction for a customer buying something from a business, then the value for that business of advertising on our system goes up. So they bid more in the ad system. So if we can make it so that now, in addition to finding businesses that people want to interact with, people can also transact with them directly, I would expect that over time, that will lead to higher prices for ads because it will be worth more to the businesses, so they will bid more in the ad system. But in order for that to happen, there are a lot of steps between now and then. Right? We have to build a system that passes all the regulatory approvals. It has to end up being successful and useful for people. And then, as kind of a third step far down the line, if all that plays out, then we may see a positive business impact.
Facebook also becomes a marketplace where the currency is traded for the goods sold over Facebook.
Congressman, that's correct, and that's a separate area that we're working on already. We distinguish between services that we're trying to offer in payments, like this, and some of the other payment efforts that we have. From commerce efforts, we already have Facebook Marketplace, which a lot of people use to buy and sell, things that they've made. There's a lot of secondhand goods that are sold there. A lot of people use it. It's hundreds of millions of people a month. We're building Instagram Shopping, which is a new way for people to basically connect with the creators and influencers who they care about and any kind of brand to make it so that they can buy things in line. And I think that that's going to end up being a useful product for people as well.
You mentioned, of course, one need is the underbanked or even the unbanked in our communities across the nation. Of course, another problem with that is that some of those people who are unbanked or underbanked also live in areas without broadband service or without sufficient broadband service to trade. Does Facebook have a plan to address those areas that lack the broadband access?
Congressman, we do. We work on this both in the US and abroad. And we started working on this in 2013 when we launched the Internet.org project. We now also have the Facebook Connectivity project, where we build technology, we build open source technology that mobile phone, that mobile carriers can use to decrease their costs, which in a competitive market, we hope some of those savings will be passed along to consumers. We've seen certain of these innovations, when they get implemented in countries around the world, because the cost of delivering broadband go down, now some people can afford to access broadband who weren't able to before, and the amount of the population that gets connected goes up. Overall, the connectivity initiatives that we've had, we've measured that across the world, we believe that they've helped more than 100 million people access the internet who weren't on the internet before.
All right. And very briefly, you've heard concerns from both sides of the aisle about the operation locating in Switzerland. You've heard you heard it even before today's hearing. With all that considered, will you consider, yes or no, locating in the United States versus Switzerland?
Congressman, at this point, we do not control the Independent Libra Association, so I don't think we can make that decision. But Facebook's efforts, and we're certainly an American company that is based here, and our investment will be largely here.
Gentleman from Guam, Mr. San Nicolas.